Hey guys, welcome to Mr. Smith's Kitchen. Brian, Mr. Smith Kitchen, as always. And today for dessert, I know I talked about doing two different videos, but or two things in one video, but I thought that's a little silly. We can break it into two parts, and I'm really dying to try this pie though. Not that I don't want to show you how to make edible chocolate cookie dough, because that's awesome, and we will do that. That may actually be a bonus video either sometime this weekend or next week, because I know I'm about to throw another video at you this week also with the basement. I want to show you what we've done so far in the garden, things of that nature, some plans for the outside, stuff like that. So it's coming, but it'll probably be next week. Plus now I have my laptop back. I can download off. I downloaded another video off this camera for the pecan cake, and with the cream cheese icing. I think it's cream cheese icing. God, it's been so long. But anyhow, I've got that to show also. So I mean, there's a lot going on. You may actually see that as next week's dessert video. So I can. I've got so much in the wheelhouse right now going on with getting ready for the garden, doing some outside work because we're working on we're gonna try to put a patio in here soon. We've got flower beds to plant, or at least get done, and some planting done, some bushes to put in, maybe a couple trees, although that's going to take most of the spring and into summer. But we're also still working on the basement, so and with working a full-time schedule plus running the Mr. Smith's Kitchen Bakery and YouTube, that's a lot of time. So we will get to it, I promise. As long story short. Now that being said, today we're making what's called an impossible pie. It's a crustless pie. We put it in. We make no crust. It's the craziest pie setup I've ever seen in my life. It's really a dump everything into the mixer and go. I originally saw this on a TikTok video. Even though I don't have TikTok, it was on Reels and Shorts on YouTube from B. Dylan Hollis. I think is his name, and I feel horrible saying that. If I'm wrong, I'll put it right here, but I don't think I am. He absolutely great programming on his little channel. He does a lot of shorts, 3-minute or less videos for the most part, and he does classic recipes from the early 1900s through the 70s. He collects old cookbooks and recreates the recipes. He's even got a cookbook coming out, which I can't wait to be able to get, where he has reworked a few of the recipes, and put them in a book, keeping them true to classic form, but kind of giving you a modern recipe, which is awesome. So anyhow, that being said, if you're new to my channel, this is your first video, welcome. I'm so glad you stopped by. Hope you get something out of this video. Check out some of my other videos. And for everybody, don't forget to like, subscribe, share. All that's important. It takes us and puts us in the algorithm for YouTube, and it helps our community grow. So that way we can get more people in the neighborhood, surrounded with food and good values, and just good communication, being a good friend, a good neighbor, a good family member, and we do that through food. Everything we do here we can do together as a family, or with a friend, or with a significant other, or your children, or whatever. Everybody's welcome. Don't forget to comment, whether it be here or on our Facebook page, Mr. Smith's Kitchen on Facebook. It's a group. You can join. It's free. You don't even have to answer any questions. But anyhow, that being said, let's go ahead and get down here to the counter, and we will start working on this pie. All right, hold on for me 1 second. Okay, we are down here at the counter now. In his recipe, he used a blender. I'm not using a blender, I'm going to use a mixer. Although we have a blender, a rather big blender, but I don't know if that's altogether necessary. And the recipe I found online, which I don't remember now who the recipe came from, but I'll let you know before the end of the video all the same, or put it down like right in there somewhere to tell you. But essentially the same ingredients. just done in a mixer. They use a hand mixer and a bowl. I'm gonna use my stand mixer because I got it. It's here. Why not? So anyhow, you're gonna at least need a bowl and a hand mixer, or you could probably even use a whisk or a spoon and a bowl. You can use your blender if you have one. There are an endless amount of choices because all we're gonna literally do is dump everything in here and mix it together. So we've got our tool ready to go. If you have a scale, you'll want to use one. But we're going to put our oven at 350 degrees. I got my oven warming up right now, so that way it's ready to go by the time we get all this done. This recipe first showed up in newspapers about 1963, so I thought that was kind of cool. Alright, so the first thing we're going to need a half a cup, one stick, 114 grams of softened butter. It doesn't necessarily have to be room temperature, but it does have to be softened. There is a difference. Not by much, just a few degrees. Means it hasn't been sitting out. I'd say let it sit out for at least a half hour, you know, depending on the temperature of your room, but it doesn't have to be smushable, so to speak. So the next thing we're going to add to this is I'm adding a quarter teaspoon of salt. Now if you're using salted butter, then you don't have to add any salt to it. The recipe I found online called for salted butter. I don't own salted butter. I like to control the butter that's in there. And then to that, we are going to add 4 large eggs. All right, that's 200 grams. So we've got 1 gram of salt, 114 grams of butter, 200 grams of eggs, or 4 large eggs. We are going to add some sugar. We're going to add 1 cup, 200 grams of granulated, just plain old regular sugar. We're going to add a half a cup, 60 grams of all-purpose flour, plain old white flour. We are going to add 2 teaspoons or 8 grams of vanilla. So I'm going to put this in there. I know this is crazy. I feel a little nervous about this whole thing. And the last thing, second to last thing we need to put in is 2 cups, 500 milliliters of milk. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in there. Now I sifted nothing. Nothing. I mean, everything's just kind of, you know, I put it in a bowl, I weighed it out, and I'm moving on. The last thing, 1 cup, 65 grams of sweetened coconut. Dump it in there. And then we're just gonna turn our mixer on low to start until everything starts to get incorporated. Then I'll bring it up to a medium, and all your dairy should be at room temperature, in case I didn't mention that while we were going. And we're gonna get this mixed, let it run for a couple minutes. All right, we'll let that mix. And now we just gotta scrape this all down from where it gathered up some stuff on there, which is fine. Got some butter, a little bit of butter, got some coconut, and it's really kind of cool because I mean I know you can't see it in the bowl because I have yet to get my glass bowl that I keep talking about. I really wish I wouldn't have broke my first one. But all the coconut is floating at the top. It's really kind of cool, which is what we want, because what this pie is going to do essentially, even though we're not making a crust, it's supposed to form its own crust on the bottom. The coconut will float to the top, and the center becomes a custard. This is like a custard pie. It's just got coconut in it. You could also use different fruits to put in this, or spices if you want to make it kind of a savory dish, you know, or like a for the holidays you can put your nutmeg, your, you know, allspice, things like that in it. All right, so we're literally done making the pie mix, or the pie filling, you know, or the pie, pre-baked, pre-cooked pie. So we get this out of the way here right quick. I'll move it over here to the kitchen, or the stovetop, and we're just going to take this and we're going to pour it in our pie pan. Which here you'll be able to see the coconut come to the top, just like such. The oven went off. We are at 350 degrees. And I'll tell you what, because this is so full, I'm going to run real quick and grab a cookie sheet, and that way I can put that on a cookie sheet before we put it in the oven. That way I don't spill it hopefully going into the oven or get it all over the oven. So hold on for me just 1 second. Okay, got it on our pan there, so now we can put it in the oven. Go really slow. This is very liquidy and that's a lot of pie in there. And get that in there like such. Spilled a little bit on the pan there, but that's all right. So now what do we do? That's the real question. What do we do? Woo, sorry. That was a whole lot of wah. All right, so we've got our pie in the oven. Oven's at 350 degrees. We are gonna bake this for 1 hour. And I gotta clear that. Oh. Give me 1 second there. One of these days, even though I've had this oven for over a year now, I forget you can't just punch it in an hour. You gotta punch in 60 for 60 minutes. So we're gonna bake this for an hour, 60 minutes, and take it from there. We'll check it. What we're looking for as far as checking it goes is it should be set, right? The top should be firm. You should be able to shake the pan or the pie plate, depending on what you're using. And it should have a little bit of wiggle, but for the most part, it should have no wiggle. And then after that, we'll come back, I'll pull it out, I'll tell you exactly how long it took me. Now your oven may vary, you may only go 55 minutes. So start checking it at 55 minutes and don't be discouraged if it takes you 65 minutes. Like I said, it'll just depend on your oven. How well is how accurate is your oven to that 350 degrees? Will tell you a lot. So anyhow, when I come back, we'll check it and talk about what to do next. All right, I'll see you here in just 1 second. Out of the oven, just turned it off and pulled it out. And I wanted to show you, see how when I wiggle that, it's got a little jiggle to it, but it's set. The whole thing's jiggling. It's not liquidy. And I'm stuck. There we go. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and take this off the pan. This way it can completely cool all the way around. And it did run over a little bit. I don't know if you can see it on there, but I'm in between the... Let's see how it's got that little bit of liquid. I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's sugar water, if it's from the eggs. I don't know, but that's why I put it on a pan. That way that doesn't end up in my oven. But, so what do we do now? Well, now all we have left to do really is practice patience. We're going to, sorry, I am my own cameraman until I get, one hired someday, maybe, never. I like these little nuances, so it keeps my channel original, so to speak. But anyhow, we're gonna let that cool down to room temperature. Once it hits room temperature here in about an hour, maybe 45 minutes, we'll stick it in the fridge. I'm gonna put some plastic wrap over it. We'll put it in the fridge and we're gonna let it chill. The longer you can let it chill, the better. That helps it completely set. So I'm gonna say 6 to 8 hours. This hasn't taken us, it took us like 5 minutes to put together. It took us an hour to bake. So you could really do this in the morning, do it in the morning. You get up Saturday morning, put it together real quick, throw it in the oven, go do something for an hour, because I was out in the garage. I've got tools I'm sharpening and things like that. Came back in, took it out of the oven. It did take 1 hour. It's got a nice golden crust to it. The coconut came to the top. So we're good. Now I'm just gonna let it sit here for an hour, go on and go do something else. I'll put it in the fridge till dinner time. So when I come back, it'll be after dinner, and we'll see what we did and what we didn't do, and see how it turns out. But anyhow, I'll be right back in just a second. So after a fun-filled day of adventure and working in the basement, doing some work outside, getting some organization done in the garage, because my garage is a complete mess from all the other stuff I've been doing. I've got the worst habit of just leaving stuff lay, and all of a sudden I've got a collection of junk while I'm working on a project, and which you'll probably see tomorrow, because the basement's just got stuff scattered everywhere from where I keep moving stuff, and it's a mess. But anyhow, we let our pie chill in the fridge. We let it set, cool down to room temperature. It took a little over an hour, and then I threw her in the fridge, and it's been in there maybe 7 hours or so, but it's good and firm. Let's go down here, we'll take a look, and then we'll cut us a slice. But yeah, we did a lot of working out in the yard today and things of that nature, so we well, not so much in the yard as I did, because that was yesterday. A lot of yard work yesterday, hands down. And there we go. Got the grass cut, got some treatment down on it. Not quite, but there's our pie and all its fame and fortune and beauty. Back it up so you can see the whole thing. Yeah, and then today I was downstairs continuing some walls. I've actually got a lot accomplished in the basement, even though it doesn't look like maybe I've done much since you last seen it. I mean, I still haven't gotten the dryer out of there yet, or the sink. But I'm also waiting on my shoulder or my arm to finish. It's taken forever for that bad boy to heal. But anyhow, so we cutting us a slice here, and if we did this rice, it should have formed its own crust. Now it is crunchy on the top, just like it should be. Well, like the description says, at any rate, it formed a crust with the coconut, and I get the funny impression that it's truly like an all egg custard, but I mean, we'll see. Hands down. That is crazy. That is just crazy talk. Can't get it off the scoop, but it did come out clean. There we go. If you are new to my channel, I am not very good with first pieces. I just am not. Never, and I haven't been since the beginning of my channel. So first piece would definitely not be the video money shot, so to speak, in my case. But I mean, as you can see right there, it came out clean. It did form a crust on the bottom and on the top. We'll take a look at the piece also. I mean, look right there. I mean, that's a crust line right there. It really formed its own crust. So now all that's left to do is give it a try. Now, everybody, the recipes I read on it, and then the B. Dylan Hollis videos, it turned out good. It's my understanding it's almost like a coconut cream pie, but we'll see. All the same, so let's give it a shot and see how it tastes. Wow. It's very much a custard pie. I mean, with coconut in it, and the fact it formed its own crust, it's kind of crazy. If you like a crisp crust, like it's been pre-baked and then you put your filling in, this is not it. I like this crust though. It is it's a soft crust, but it's a crust all the same. I mean, if you look at it right there, you can see, well, yes, it is a crust, but it's like a Jell-O crust, but it's good. Yeah, I have no complaints. Would I make this again? Yeah. I mean, it's a quick, easy, if you're looking for a quick, easy treat, bam, right here it is. I'm probably going to end up eating most of this pie. Now, the recipe that I got this off of did state, which I'm learning that, I mean, this recipe in particular, they're pretty much all the same. But they did note that, you can put blueberries in this, or blackberries, or raspberries, or different spices. Like, this would be really good with, say, if some blackberries with maybe a little nutmeg. I don't know why that sounds good, but it does. Or you can put nuts in it, or I mean, the possibilities are endless of what you can put in other than coconut. But I like the coconut. It's refreshing. And if you don't like a custard pie, this would definitely not be for you, because it is a custard pie through and through, but it's good. I like it. You have to give this a try. I think it's well worth it. Yeah, well worth it. It's sweet, but not horribly sweet. You can taste the vanilla in it. You can taste the coconut. It's only got a handful of ingredients, which makes it super simple. You don't have to make a crust. All you do is dump it in the pie pan, bake it, let it chill. You can't go wrong with that. Give this a try. Let me know what you think. Like I said, I like it. It just is a very custardy pie. And the fact it forms its own crust is that's impossible. It can't do that. That's exactly why it's called an impossible pie. It shouldn't work, but it does. Next week, I don't know what we're gonna make for dinner, and I still haven't decided on dessert. Whether I may just do the pecan cake as next week's video, because like I said, we got a lot going on around here, and you'll see some of it tomorrow. But I want to keep progress, keep the train rolling. And since I have a video, why waste it? And that is an excellent cake, an absolutely amazing cake. I think you will definitely enjoy it. It's not hard to make at all. But like I said, as far as dinner goes, no clue. I'm sure it'll be something good. You know, that I do know. But like I said, give this a try, please. Please do give this a try. Or if you have another variation of this recipe, let me know. Whether it be down in the comments below, or like I said, on the Facebook group. And yeah. So until next week, I love you. I love you very much, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Tell somebody else you love them and that you love them very much. It's going to make their day a whole lot better. It's going to make you feel a whole lot better. And you make them one of these pies, these impossible pies. It's impossible. They're going to be like, wow, they really care. And it's a great conversation piece. You can be like, I didn't even make a crust for that. It made itself. So until next week, I'll see you then. I love you. Talk to you later. Bye.